So welcome guys. What makes a suit jacket pocket perfect is when the edges of the downline is covered by the flap. Let's go straight to the making process. The wrong face of a suit always have interface attached to the wrong side. So for this piece we'll be using for this practical work, we've already attached the interface to the wrong side. We'll be making a line, and that line will be the exact position we'll be making our suit jacket pocket on. So both pieces already have interface attached to them, so we'll be placing them on opposite ends of the line we are making now. So I'm just trying to make the beginning and the end of the line more visible. So I'll place both pieces at opposite ends of the line and I'll be sewing. Mind you, the sewing I'll be making, the upper part will be longer than the longer part because I want a diagonal shape. So the down part will be 1/4 inch shorter on both sides. So as you can see, I'm placing my scissors on a straight line. You can see it is a 1/4 inch shorter, so it will be giving me that diagonal shape I'll be needing, and that will be the basic reason why the flap will be able to cover the down end of the down seam. So I'll be notching at the middle. After notching, I'll be making my diagonal notches to both opposite ends. So I'll notch to the point where I'll almost get to the thread, but I'll catch the thread with my scissors. The closer the notch to the edge, the ease it is for bending, and the smoother the work will be. So it's just like dining with the devil, because you just have to get very close, but you don't have to just catch the thread. So after notching, you can see we've gotten our arrowhead on both sides. So I'll be folding. So I'm folding 1/2 inch on both sides because the distance between my upper and my down seam line is 1 inch. If it were to be a real suit, the distance between my upper and my down seam line will be 1/2 inch. Then I should be folding a 1/4 inch instead of a 1/2 inch. But I'm just making it big so it is more visible. So when I'm making it now, so you'll be able to see it, see what I'm doing vividly. Like I said, if you were making yours on a suit, it is supposed to be a 1/4 inch folding on both ends, and the distance between the upper seam line and the down seam line is supposed to be 1/2 inch. So I hope that is clear. So after folding 1/2 inch on both sides, you can see what we got. We'll be using a pressing iron to straighten up things even before we start any form of stitching, because you want to be sure of what you're stitching. So the next thing I'll be doing will be to start the stitching of my arrowheads on both opposite ends. So you can see my arrowhead, the white arrow stuff with the interface on it. Mind you, before you make these stitches, you must make sure what you bend for the upper piece is facing the upper part, and what you bend for the down part is facing the down part. So I'll stitch that part, go to the opposite end, stitch it as well, and that won't be the only thing we'll be stitching. If you check very well, you will see that the folding is loose, which you can see. So the only way to keep it firm and attached is to stitch it up inwards. So I'll stitch it from there like that, from the beginning to the end like that, just one stitch or just one seam line. So after doing that, I'll be bending downwards for my final stitching. As you can see, that is also free too, so I'll be stitching it like that as well. After stitching the 4 opposite ends, if you notice, I always use a black thread when I'm doing this sort of tutorial because I want it to be visible. I want you to see the stitches I'm making. If you're making your suit, don't use a black thread, because if you're not professional enough to use a different color of thread, you just make a mess of everything. So that's my stitching. That's everything I stitched. So after doing that, I'll be going straight to the making process of the flap. In doing that, you just have to take the measurement of the opening from the beginning to the end like that. We got 5.5. So for my flap, I'll be taking the half of its fair shape. You can use any shape. You can use rectangular, you can use circular, you can use parallelogram, any shape you want. So you just trim your interface to the desired measurement you want, then you attach it to a piece and sew it on another piece. And after doing that, you use your scissors to make notches round. Whatever the shape you are making, you have to make your notches round so that when you are turning it outwards and using a pressing iron, the actual shape will always come out if you do it like this. So notching it through is very important. So after notching it all through, I'll be bringing everything inwards out using whatever piercing object I can use to push out all the protruding edges. So in doing this, the next thing we'll do is our pressing iron to straighten it, and after straightening it, we'll just apply it inwards directly. You can see the whole process is quite easy if you just understand it. The most important thing is understanding what it takes to have, what it takes to make it perfect. So after putting was, you hold it down with a stitch upward like that. As you can see, I've done that. It's firmly held. My second stitch, same line, is actually what I use in holding it down. So everything about the outer part is finished. So the flap covered the down edges of the same line. We'll be going straight to the making of the pocket inwards. In making your suit, you don't just make your suit pocket and leave it. There's a whole process in terms of making the pocket, adding your stay or hemming gum or whatever you want to use in making sure the pocket is firmly held to the material. After sewing both pieces together like that, in sewing the side, you will not just sew the side or join the side, you'll be joining it with an interface. That interface will be what will enable it to attach itself to the bodies of the material or the bodies of the suit in the case of working on an actual suit. You use your zigzag sewing pattern to hold it down, because that will actually be what will be able to hold the interface you're attaching from gumming each other or for gumming itself. So after doing that, this is what we got. The next thing we'll just be doing will be to use a pressing iron to make everything straighten and hold it down. So after holding it down, this is what we got. Everything is firmly held, and that is exactly how you make your jacket pocket. And mind you, like I said earlier, the welt pocket we made was half-inch folded on both ends. If you are working on your suit, it is supposed to be half-inch, and the distance between your upper seam and your down seam line is supposed to be half-inch and not 1 inch. So thanks for watching. God bless you. I'll see you on my next video. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. Click the notification bell to get notified when I drop new videos. Just stay blessed.